What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to the social Let's Play here in Football Manager 2018. And well, today it's another big episode. If you missed the last one, it was a live com doubleheader. It was against Le Havre and Reims. I recommend you check out both those games. Two big games for us. I don't want to say how we did, but it could have gone better. That's what I will say. But you can see today, we are in April. We have a game in hand with 7 games left of the season. And if we win it, we would go into the automatic promotion spots. And as you can see, we're going to be taking on Orléans. They are down in 17th. So really, we should be winning in this. But Orléans here, they need some good results. You can see they've actually found a little bit of form as of late, considering how bad the start of the season went for them. They might not be as easy as I'd like them to be, particularly given our recent form. So, well, speaking of that form, let's talk about it. As I said, last time out we took on Reims and Le Havre, and as you can see here, we got 1 point from a possible 6. Really wasn't ideal. I wanted us to bounce back. As you can see, in our first game we took on Ajaccio, and, well, as you can see here, we won 1-0. It was Jean Ruiz with a goal. Of course, Jean Ruiz has very commonly been playing centre-back this year, but he is capable of playing centre-mid, and due to a few suspensions and injuries, he found himself playing centre mid, and while in that more advanced position, he made the most of it. He got a goal for us. It was the difference maker in the game, and well, an 8.6 rating for him, a nice little result really, and of course good to get back to winning ways. Anyway, the next game we had against Auxerre finished 2-1. Of course, Auxerre flying quite high in the league. They'd been hot on our heels, and while they took the lead through Mohamed Yatara very early on, and at that point I wasn't a happy bunny to say the least, but less than 2 minutes later, Douglas Pote got a goal for us in the 6th minute, and well, that was a good one for him. He did get man of the match in the end of this game, and while Brian Lasme got a goal, it was his first goal of the season. The 22nd minute strike was the difference maker. Some of you might be sat there thinking, Lasme, he's not a familiar name. Well, we did talk about him a few episodes ago. Just having a look at him here, you can see we've promoted him to the first team. He's got 2 goals already for us, and this was his first ever start. A high-risk game for me to bring him in for, but I wanted to give him a chance to prove himself. And Auxerre, of course, one of the big favourites in this league. They're in the playoffs with us. And he shone, and you can see here at 19 years old, he really is a gifted player. He shouldn't be on the loan list. Let's make sure he's not on there. And if we just compare him to Adriat Seema here, you can kind of see what kind of player we've got. He's got slightly better physicals than the 33-year-old. Always kind of technicals and mentals are going to be a bit tight here. But if we just look at the overall kind of quick summary, you can really see the difference in the players here. They are fairly evenly matched, but with Brian Lasme being 19, and well, Adriat Seema being 33, and with less than, well, at this point, 3 months left on his contract, it kind of made sense to give Brian Lasme a run of games, and he's taken them well, the 19-year-old. Of course, another product of the Sochaux youth team, and in this game, he was the difference maker against Auxerre. Anyway, the next game we had was against Paris FC, a 3-0 win, fairly standard here. Francisco Trincao with a brace, Thomas Robinet with a goal as well. All in all, nice little goals here. Martinho got an assist, and he actually had a really good game. He got a 9.0 rating. Of course, Rafael Martinho was one of the first signings we made, but this man here, Francisco Trincao, who did get the brace in this game, has just been a revelation since he joined us. Of course, this guy might be, so far, I don't want to say it too soon, one of the best signings I've made in recent FMs, and that wouldn't be an exaggeration. We signed him for £100,000. He's barely just turned 18. Look at him. He's so good. For 100... I mean, we've robbed Braga. I don't know if you can get him that cheap in your own saves, but if you can, you might as well go for it. You can see here, he's a player suited to Ligue 1 football, so already capable of playing in the division above us. And, well, he's just a superb winger, and he's been in great form for us so far this year. And, well, he was a difference maker against Paris FC in that game. Anyway, the next game, a draw against Tours. And, well, you can see here, it was a ding-dong battle, a real classic. 3-3 it finished in the end. Jay Katongo with the initial goal. Katongo, worth noting, has been brought into the Scottish national team setup, which is something that honestly caught me by surprise. But yes, the Scotsman has come in and he's made an appearance for Scotland as well, so he is a fully fledged international. Never really talked about it, but he does have a bonus in his contract that says he gets £4,000 per international appearance. I didn't really think he'd play for Scotland as soon as he has, being completely honest. It's kind of caught me out. But as you saw in this game, we took a 2-goal lead. We then collapsed to go 3-2 down. And in the last minute, with pretty much the last kick of the game, who else was it going to be? It was Brian Lasme off the bench who scored. And, well, we got a share of the spoils. A good little performance by him on off the bench. And, well, a bit of a classic, but, well, a first draw. And we followed it up with another draw. You can see this game, I'm not going to go through it. It finished 0-0. It was pretty poor by everyone. We were a little bit fortunate, perhaps, not to lose this game. Axel Aktas did get injured. As you can see, he's out with a broken toe for 4 to 6 weeks. And while with only 7 games left of the season, a 4 to 6 weeks injury could see him miss pretty much the rest of the year. So we could be in for a tough run to end the season. Because Axel Aktas, whilst he hasn't been in form as of late, he is the player with, by a significant margin, the most assists in our team. He's contributed 6 goals as well. He really is a great player for us. And to be without him is really honestly going to be a struggle. That's not going to be easy by any means. As I mentioned, Katongo playing for Scotland is great. He's not actually improved that much, I feel like, since he's joined us. But he's played okay. 7 goals is not a bad haul at all in 20 appearances. In terms of a little bit of transfer news, we have got 2 signings coming in. The first player we have here is Thomas Carrick. We've signed him from Bordeaux. His contract expires at the end of the year. We've got him coming in on a free transfer. He's 19 years old. He's an exciting young player. I'm thinking I might train him to play centre-back, which might seem a little odd, but at 19 I feel like that's where he'd be best suited to, rather than the full-back position he's currently naturally in. But yeah, he is a player joining us, obviously a youth prospect, really, at 19, being released by Bordeaux at the end of the year. We picked him up, no fee expended on him, and a £700 wage is more than affordable. Anyway, the other player we brought in, Quintan Ducassi, sounds, I mean, look at him, he's insane. Now, you guys might recognise this player if you watched episode 1 of The Academy, and if you're sat there now going, Jack, what's The Academy? You've missed it. Go check it out. It's a slightly more kind of longer, rambly series, I guess, but it's all about Football Manager youth development. And essentially, the aim of the Academy is to talk about what's going on in my reserve and under-18 teams primarily, although the first team will occasionally come into it, here at Sochaux in a slightly kind of longer form way. You know, I'll go into the nitty-gritty, talk about how I'm trading certain players, my thinking behind it, hopefully, you know, be able to throw out a few useful bits of information here and there that you might not know about with regards to youth development in Football Manager. And well, if you watched that video, you would have noticed me stumble across this guy playing in the French youth team setup. Now, he's playing for Bastia. Bastia used to be like a really big team in France. In fact, you can see here they were relegated from Ligue 1 last year. They now play like in a really random league. I can only assume there was some financial hardship. I know I have some French viewers. I'm sure some of you know what went on with Bastia. If you do, let me know down in the comments, you know, what happened with them, because they ended up tumbling down the leagues. But they had this youngster. We've signed him up, and he just looks like a really good player. You can see my scouts rate him an 83 kind of recommended score. Consistent, matches the kind of philosophies we have at the club in terms of signing young players. He's fairly fast, good dribbling. I mean, his finishing composure and off the ball are really solid, and he's only 17. I mean, I'm pretty excited to get this guy in. How much potential he has, I guess, remains to be seen. His mental side of his game is a little bit weak. But I feel like for a player coming in on a free transfer, if you watched the Academy episode, you would have seen that I approached to sign him. I didn't know at that point what the compensation was going to be. It actually ended up being, well, you can see here, £18,000 plus a few extra bits here and there. You might notice that the transfer budget and wage budget available has seemingly shot up. I asked the board to increase the budgets, and they've duly obliged, which is really kind of them. And with the wage budget, I believe this is also factoring in some of the players who are leaving at the end of their contracts, at least at the moment. So anyway, that's a little bit about what's been going on off the pitch. I mean, the form's not been bad necessarily, but 2 draws back-to-back is less than ideal. Orléans here are going to be tricky. Just looking at the league table, you can see right now we are down in 3rd, although we do have this game in hand. A win could see us go ahead of Le Havre. I'm not sure what the sorting rule here is in France. So it's goal difference and then it's results between teams. So ourselves and Le Havre actually have pretty similar goal difference right now, but the league really has been ridiculously tight. You can see Lens behind us are only 3 points behind us. Their goal difference is very solid. In fact, you can see here, looking at ourselves, Lens and Le Havre, it's really weird how kind of similar just our points totals are and our goal differences are. Runes have been a little kind of less offensive, I guess, but they've been a little bit better defensively than either of us. If we look at past positions, you can see really it's been a bit mad. It's been this crazy free horse race. You can see, to be fair, Lens, they were top of the league only a few game weeks ago. It's probably a 4-horse race. I mean, look at it here. It's just been crazy the way that we've been interchanging, at the top. No team has really run away with the league. In fact, I think a few game weeks ago, there were 3 of us all on 60 points. So we were all kind of, alongside each other. But today we need to try and make something happen. And a win for us would see us go back into second. A defeat, and we're going to be playing catch-up with 6 games left of the season. Anyway, in terms of team news, Actas is out with that broken toe that I already mentioned. To be honest, we've been very, very lucky when it comes to injuries. There's really not been that many. But Axel Actas is going to be a big miss for us. In terms of our team for today's game, we're going to go with Prevost in goal. At left back, we're going to go with Pendant, of course, a player who we promoted from the youth team. And this year, he's been a real revelation, the 21-year-old. There's no other way of looking at it. You can see average rank could be a little bit better, but he has been solid for us. He's well suited to this division. Could improve a lot in the future, and I'm hoping he will do. At right back, of course, we have Jean-Do Fuchs, who, again, has been superb. We are playing him at right back today. That's worth noting. At the centre-back positions, we're going to go with Diarra, and alongside him, we are going to go with Ruiz. I did just notice, Diarra's determination. What's happened there? Why have you dropped by 1? Why? Does it say? Sometimes it says, like, why a player's kind of stuff's dropped. It might be the squad personality. I don't know. Why would that drop by 1? Bizarre. We're not tutoring him, so it's not like I picked a bad tutor. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter too much. Let's not get bogged down in it. A defensive midfielder today, we're actually going to go with Panna. Now, he isn't the greatest defensive midfielder you can see here, but he's pretty well suited to it, and I want to give Martinho a bit more of a run out. Of course, a player we brought in at the start of the season, I thought he was going to be a really key part of our team, and we spent actually a lot of money on him, but when you compare him to Francisco Trincao, you can kind of see why he's just been kept out of the first team. Trincão's physicals are better. Technically, Martinho is a little better, but in some of the areas that aren't so important, you can see stuff like dribbling is very similar. First touch is very similar. Passing is actually slightly in favour of Trincão. In terms of the mentals, they're pretty close, although I like the good composure on Trincão, and physically, Trincão just about edges it. But yeah, Martinho's kind of played second fiddle. He's the kind of player who I wouldn't be adverse to selling at the end of the year, particularly if we could recoup at least the £450,000, but looking at him and his value, he could be worth significantly more. He's actually wanted by Met, so that might be an avenue worth exploring. It really does depend, I guess, on if we get promoted or not, because if we get promoted, I might well need him in the first team as a bit of backup. Anyway, on the left-hand side, we go with Trincão. Out on the right, we're going to go with Kitongo today. In the centre, with Actas out injured, we have to bring in Berenguer, who is a player who's really not performed that great in training, as you can see. Been on the decline. I think that's largely down to the lack of first-team football, to be fair to him. But at 29 years old, we're giving him the nod. He's going to get an opportunity. He's got good passing and good vision. And, well, we need a creative force in the midfield, and we're going to be looking at him to provide the business. Anyway, Robin A is going to be leading the attack today as a spearhead. Across the team, we've got Gibaud, Senhaji, Tardio, Mark Crystal, Vasco Costa, Douglas Pote, and Brian Lasme on the... I don't know, I've gone Lasme. I've gone proper... Well, I don't even know where. I've changed my accent, basically. It's Lasme. That's definitely not how you say it in French, so I apologise to the French viewers once more. I probably shouldn't keep a counter of how many times I've apologised for my pronunciations, because I've lost count already, and I think I would have lost count by now. But anyway, let's get into this. This is a game that we should be winning. They are a team in form, so they're not going to be easy to beat. Let's get straight into this. I'm going to send my assistant. I know it sounds terrible. Oh gosh, the kick clash. This could be interesting. I know it sounds terrible, but the team the team talk kind of dropped down to give team talks to individual kind of groups of positions, defenders, midfielders, and attackers. It's just a few extra clicks this year, and it sounds horrifically lazy, but it just makes it so arduous that I almost don't want to do it. And I didn't do it in this game. Is that bad? I mean, maybe that makes me sound really lazy, but it's just like those extra clicks matter, you know, especially when you're used to it being quicker. It's one of my few gripes this year. I see a few people complain about the UI in this year's game. I think for the most part I've kind of just learnt to deal with it, but that is something I can't get over. And well, we drew the last game 0-0. I'm hoping we're not going to draw this game 0-0, but going into half-time, we're yet to have a chance, though there is going to be one here. Ball whipped in, Prevost punches it out to Berenguer. Can we maybe hit them on the break? Robin A gets a deflected pass, a little bit of fortune there. Martinho exploring the space, he gets taken out of the play. I must admit, this whole yellow on yellow ensemble isn't the easiest thing to see the difference between, but if we squint, they look different enough, I guess. You got the black and blue, and you got the black and yellow, and you got the blue and yellow. Anyway, big ball over here. Ruiz deals with it to Pana, who, well, he isn't natural in that defensive midfielder role, and that was apparent there as the effort comes in. Prevo, what a save. I thought the linesman's flag might go up. It didn't. But the keeper was up to the task, and he keeps the scoreline at 0-0 in what's been a pretty drab affair at half-time. 0-0. It's not really a classic, and, well, given where we are in the league and the current situation, we really want to be winning this kind of game. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with this. You can see, looking at the stats, they've hit the woodwork once. We've done nothing. We've had 3 shots on target. We have edged possession, but we're not really creating enough. You can see players in the final third really not stepping up. Pendant at left-back is really struggling as well, but Kitongo's been poor. It's not ideal. We need to defend here. They are having a field day down their right-hand side against Pendant. Maybe I should sub him off. Ball here, just about dealt with in the end. Ruiz, big ball at the pitch. Could be Robinet just floating out wide here. Has he got any runners with him? Maybe he doesn't need them. Does lay it off to the Scottish international now. I can say that, and it's a factually correct statement. Kitongo, who went for a rather ambitious effort in the end. Not entirely convinced that that was the best usage of possession, but we'll shrug our shoulders and get on with it. He might get a second bite at the cherry here, Kitongo. He's using that pace down the right-hand side. Lays it off to Fuchs. Options in the centre. Can we try and craft an opportunity here? Kitongo back to Fuchs. Nice little play down this right-hand side. Can the end product come in? Robinet flicks it on. I think Trincao scored. I'm not sure how it's got to him. But what a move that was. That was a really nice piece of play. Did Robinet like balls up his first touch or his shot and it just fell to Trincao? It looked bizarre. But, well, nice play down this right-hand side. Fuchs playing right back today with a ball in. I think Robinet has completely screwed up his header and it's hit him on the shoulder there and gone in. I don't think he can actually take any credit for that assist. He's going to try and do so, but I'm not buying it. 65 minutes gone. Let's take off Pendant if we can. We've got Gibaud on the bench who we can bring in there, of course. A great player, Gibaud, to have, just because he's 29 years old, good determination, good experience, but he can just play anywhere across the back four naturally. He's the kind of player who, of all the older players we've got, would be one of the best to keep hold of next year, I feel like. Anyway, let's see how we get on here. Immediately another highlight. Hopefully it's not going to be against us. So Gibaud on off the bench. What a pass that is, and Robinet should score. That was so easy for him. A one-on-one with the keeper. Gibaud, who he'd brought on, just hacked the ball up the field. We might still get a chance here. Berenguer, Pana, edge of the box. Ruiz. I mean, Pana's the long shot specialist if the start of the season's anything to go by. I will say now, Pana, obviously, he's had a few injuries. He's had a few suspensions. This second half of the season, he's been very, very sluggish in, which is a bit of a shame, really, because he had such a great start to the year. Anyway, set piece here. Headed away. 18 minutes left. This would not be a good time to concede. Ball pass forward. They've got so many men in the attack, and what an effort that is by Gomis. Yannick Gomis with the goal. And early on, you'd have to say they probably deserve it on the balance of play. Perhaps in the second half we've been slightly better. But, well, it was a set piece we didn't really deal with. The initial header away. And well, our organisation here is so poor. I mean, look how many men we've got just floating. What are you 4 people doing? What's this? Like, there's like 6 players. They're all... I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't think they know what they're thinking either. I mean, they are AI, so I guess technically they're not thinking. But if they were real human beings... I mean, I've seen worse defending in real life, but even so, it's still frustrating when you have to watch it play out in the match engine like that. Anyway, I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to move Pana into Mazzara, and Ristel's going to come in defensive midfielder. I'm also going to bring in Lasmi for his live commentary debut. A player promoted from the reserves has forced Adriet Seema out the first team. Can he show us what he's all about? Oh my gosh, they almost scored. Lasmi, I think he just booted it off the line there. So maybe that's his contribution right there. Can we hit on the counter after that initial effort? Ball whipped in. Oh my gosh, for a second you thought it was going to go, and it could still result in something. What is happening? Match engine shenanigans at its finest, but they do clear it in the end. And well, we're living life on the edge here. Fuchs, can he get another ball of quality into the box like he did for our first goal? Not at the first time of asking. Might get a second chance here, although Pana, I thought he was going to go for one of his trademarked long shots there, but he didn't in the end. And well, another chance fizzles out. 5 minutes left in the game. We are penned in here, and well, Lasmi's got the ball. Can he show us what he's all about? Can he? I mean, Berenguer now with the play. Hasn't played too badly, Berenguer. You know, coming in for Actas was always going to be a bit of pressure on him, I guess, to perform. But he seems to be pulling the strings quite nicely. And that's a great ball, actually, to Trincao, who takes it down sublimely, pulls it back, but no one's there. And while we look to build again, Fuchs, Kitongo, you've got space out wide and you've got the pace. He goes for a little back heel. That's a bit cheeky, isn't it? That pass is poor by Berenguer. I've said how good of a game he's had. I might be about to jinx it because they're on the attack. They're bringing so many men forward. Gomis, he scored one already. He puts it wide this time. I can't deal with this kind of stress. It's been such a 50-50 game. And there's going to be another highlight here in the 88th minute. We've had so many chances late on for both teams. Which way is this one going to go? Ever since they got their goal, it's just sprung into life, this game. And after what was a very tame first half, it's been end-to-end. And now Gomisi's through again. He bottled once already. He's going to have to try and get the ball into the box. Can we force him out wide? Oh my gosh, that tackle was mental. If that makes contact, that could be a red card. And Kitongo not putting in the clearance we need. What is happening here in the midfield? This is full-on Sunday League. After we scored a fantastic goal, it feels like every highlight we've watched has been us playing questionable football, but it doesn't matter if you get the result, and we're trying to get the result here. Ball played forward. They come now back with it. This has been such a ding-dong battle. It's been tit for tat. They've got so many men through. Gomis hits it, and it's a dagger in my heart. Orléans, a team who are in form, to be fair to them, have just scored in the 89th minute, and it hurts, damn it. It hurts so badly. We just have to go on the attack now and try and make something happen, I guess. Oh, I mean, you knew there was going to be a goal one way or another, the way that was playing out. Let's hit early crosses if we can. We've just got to get it into the box now. Be a little less patient with it all. Gibaud. Berenguer. Hits it. I mean, I believed for a second, but, well, the belief faded away. 2 minutes left in this game. It's going to have to be a late goal if we are to get back into this. And we're about to bottle another game. Obviously, we went 2-0 up in that game previously. Like I talked about the 3-3 draw. And not for the first time this year, a collapse. Kitongo hacks it away in the end. I mean, could I have gone more defensive when we were a goal to a good? I feel like when you look at the stats, it feels like we deserved a draw. But, I mean, fair play to Orléans. They played very well indeed. I'm just going to tell the players that they weren't good enough, because that's a fact of the matter. We have just bottled it against the team in 17th. Looking at it now, Lens move into real contention. They are 3 points behind us, but have better goal difference, albeit by just the one goal. I mean, the silver lining is that our run to the end of the season now is kind of nice. You know, we've got Nîmes, Brest, VAFC, Lorient are going to be difficult. They're in 6th. Clermont could be difficult. I feel like those two games are going to be the two where we kind of know where we stand. I mean, right now it's looking like we might have to settle for the playoffs, although, I mean, that's still not really a shit. I mean, I say that, we're only 1 point off the top, and the way things have been going, it could be anyone's game. You kind of look at Runes here, you can see they've been unbeaten in a while, but they've drawn 4 of their last 5. What have Le Havre been doing? I mean, it feels like everyone's been bottling it. You can see they've been not doing that great either. I mean, it's going to be a case of who wants it more, it feels like. They have got Lens to play, so that could play into our favour. But even so, we need to cut out these kind of draws and defeats we've been having. You know, Tours, they're not high. Where are Paris and Tours? Let's have a look. Tours are 16th. Paris are 12th. They're games we have to be winning, and we're not right now. And the young players, they're starting to show a little bit of, perhaps, not naivety, but inexperience, I think would be the fairest assessment. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode from me. Not the end of episode 8 I was hoping we were going to be having. It's been a rough kind of second half of the season, really. Ever since we took on Lorient in our live com, you know, we took on them. We obviously got the draws against them and Lens. Last time out, 2 very tricky games. We got a draw and a defeat. I think next time, as I said, it'll probably be the game against Lorient. Maybe the game against Clermont as well. It'll kind of give us a nice idea of whereabouts we need to be fighting for by that point as well. Who knows, playoff kind of place might be assured, and we might be off the off the promotion push by then. But I want to try and remain upbeat and positive, at least for the foreseeable future. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from me. One thing I forgot to mention actually is I did have a youth intake. You might notice I've not talked about it. I did do a little sneak peek over on @WorkTheSpace on Twitter, so you can go back onto my Twitter, look back a few days ago at the time of me recording this and find it. And yeah, that will be featured in the Academy episode 2. The reason for not doing episode 2 like now is because I didn't want it to be 2 Academy episodes back to back. I want to break it up a little bit. But yeah, be assured that the Academy episode 2 will be up soon, in which we will be going through our youth intake. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all from me. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Leave a like if you did. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.